Alright, so this Ford Edge we did a little while ago. We put some exhaust bypass. So these are pretty simple. They're a boost activated valve that's very similar to a throttle body. When the boost is activated, those valves open and the exhaust gas bypasses the muffler, and we tied those directly into the exhaust tip. So it's got a seamless transition and it remains stock under normal driving. Well, it's back today to replace these exhaust tips. These are not really a tip anymore. As you see, the exhaust pipe is back there. These are kind of like a little trim piece that bolts to the bumper, and the exhaust points into that hole. It's a way a lot of manufacturers are doing it. It's easy to get the tips to line up and look perfect because this piece is bolted to the bumper. Now, he doesn't really like it. It's chrome. It's not really anything else that fits the car. Everything else is black. This thing looks pretty trick. I mean, look at that. That looks good. And there's no chrome on it except, you know, really that little piece on the light and the lug nuts, which I kind of like that look. So we're going to go ahead and remove those, put on the LHT exhaust tips that we've already powder coated black. So I just wanted to show you this style tip. One of the reasons we use this, one, this is the diameter of the exhaust pipe. This is a 2.5. We have a 3-inch as well. But this gives it that larger look. You know, you don't want that tiny tip in a bigger pocket. So this will obviously give it a larger look, while the inside, the diameter remains small. It helps keep some of the drone down. The larger the diameter, the deeper the tone, the more drone you get. Also, what I like about this is essentially a double wall. This has an air gap between this pipe here, so as the hot gases go through here, this remains cool. But it's good for two reasons. One, the tips we typically use are powder coated, which will stand up to the temperature. But if this is near the bumper, sometimes we will build this tip and get it really close to that pocket, you know, depending on the car. And you don't want the heat of this burning the bumper. You've seen some of that in the past. So that's one of the reasons we like to use this dual wall tip. Plus it's got that nice kind of modern look. This is a different kind of tip. We've used this before, but this is a good example. This is only this thin, so the exhaust gas going through here transfers to the outside of this, so this gets pretty hot. Also, when you have this really large interior diameter, as the gas expands, it picks up a deeper tone. I don't know if you remember those old megaphones you see in the old black and white movies where the guy had the cone and he used to, well, as the air and sound expands, it creates more depth, more lower frequency, so it appears louder. That's what an exhaust tip will do, and we've found this over the years experimenting, plus talking to some of the OE manufacturers. I always like to gain as much information as I can. If I see a car that's making, you know, 500 horsepower from the factory and it stays within the low decibel level, I always like to know how to do it. I'm always trying to learn more. So this is one of those megaphone styles. We actually put this on a custom car. We had a couple of these. This has a slash in two directions, a compound cut. It's cut that way and this way, and it matched. We ordered a whole bunch for this car to try and see which would work, and the shape of the bumper, it matched the bumper perfectly, and it kind of suited the look of the car. But typically, that's why I don't like these. I like these. Let me show you the powder coated ones we have for the Ford Edge. Alright, so here is our tips powder coated. They're wrapped in plastic, so we're going to leave them like that until they're actually ready to be installed for good. We're going to be test fitting them and trying to basically get the best position. The bumper has like a square hole and it's offset, so we want to kind of balance that out so it looks the best, but these should look really trick. Alright, so now the tip is removed. It's got like this inner skeleton here, which of course doesn't look good. It's going to have to be removed. We want to use this finished edge here so that when our tip, you know, is sitting over here, this is our finished edge right here. So there's a bunch of small star drives back here that have to be removed, but that will all come out. So now we have it out. I want to just show you. This is what it looks like. And this is really common. The factory is doing this a lot. Obviously, it's much easier to manufacture and make everything look straight. This bolts to the bumper and sits there, and then the exhaust just kind of dumps, you know, into the back side of this. You see how much difference there is there. That way it always looks like it's perfectly straight and lined up. So these are not going back on Now we have to remove this on both sides, like a cage, but obviously it looks unfinished. So if we take that off, we'll end up with this finished smooth edge, and our tip will look like it's meant to be in there. Alright, so once you get all the bolts out, this removes from the bumper, and now we have a much cleaner edge. Of course the tip is going to fill in most of that. You're going to be looking at it from a angle, you know, this is level, so you're going to be looking at it from here. What I'm going to show you here is this is gloss painted. It's obviously, you know, it's not perfect finish, but it's got a gloss to it. I'm worried about being behind the car. Let's say your headlights catch it, you can kind of see the way this is shiny already. The light is reflecting off it. Well, your headlights are going to do the same thing. So I'm going to actually scuff this up here, mask it, and paint it with a flat black so it kind of disappears. I just wanted to point that out to you, show you kind of like the steps along the way and what I'm thinking here. So let me show you the finished article. Ready? There we go. Now it's flat. It somewhat disappears. You should be able to see that. So now it looks a little bit more custom without being overkill. Now the gloss against the satin was kind of an idea we came up with, and I really like the way it looks. You can see it looks like it matches the car, but it contrasts against the satin plastic piece. And of course he's got the whole black theme going, the black wheels, and he just recently tinted the rear tail lights and front headlights just a little bit, that it kind of gives it that custom look without being too different. Of course he's debadged it. Now the exhaust tips really go well with the car and give it a little bit more of a different look. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.